Welcome back to the Physics Friar. At the end of the last episode, we asked this question: why do the Gospels differ? What is their point? And the answer to that question is because each author was writing for a different audience in a different time of history and also in a different context. But to go a little deeper, because the life of Jesus is a mystery in the Catholic sense of the word. It's something that we can always understand better. So no one gospel author could sum up the entire life of Jesus like that and have it be absolutely perfect. Of course there are four gospels, because there is so much about the life of Jesus for us to understand. Which brings us to the subject of today's episode, which is the life of Jesus, the mysteries that we can ever understand, not never understand. See, Catholics have a different understanding of the word mystery. On the one hand, you might think of a mystery like as in a detective series, as something that you can solve and then you've completely understood it. Or a mystery might be a riddle that is unsolvable without any answer whatsoever, as in we will never understand it. The Catholic sense of the word mystery is in between the detective's mystery and the unsolvable riddle. For Catholics, mystery means something that you can always understand better. You can go deeper and deeper in your knowledge of a mystery. The mysteries of Jesus' life, then, reveal something to us. Specifically, because Jesus was both fully God and fully human, they reveal two things to us. Jesus reveals the nature of God because Jesus was God, he had a divine nature, but also Jesus reveals the nature of us to us. Jesus reveals the nature of humanity because Jesus also had a human nature. So that brings us to our key idea that each mystery of Jesus' life says something about God and human beings. For example, you might ask the question, how do we know that God is mystery? Well, it's because of Jesus. See, everything about Jesus reveals something about God, and Jesus is a person. Let me ask you this question. Can you ever understand a person completely? Well, no. You can always get to know them better and better, but you're never going to exhaust the mystery of that person. So Jesus, as a person and as God, reveals to us that God is mystery. Going further, this idea of mystery explains why there are four Gospels. See, the Gospels are selections from the life of Jesus, because no one single story could ever capture the entirety of a person. That's why there are multiple biographies, for example, of Abraham Lincoln. So each evangelist, each Gospel writer, that's what the word evangelist means, each evangelist had a particular audience in mind, and that determined in part what that evangelist decided to emphasize about the life of Jesus, this mystery of the life of Jesus. Take, for example, the beginnings of the Gospels of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke. Now, they both talk about Jesus' birth, but the people who are present at Jesus' birth are different in each Gospel. Matthew talks about the Magi, the three wise men who come from the east to witness Jesus' birth, and the Gospel of Luke introduces us to the shepherds, these humble men who had very little in life and yet were some of the first to find out about Jesus' birth. Luke wants to emphasize that Jesus came for the poor in particular, because the shepherds were some of the poorest people in Jesus' society, while Matthew wants to emphasize that Jesus came for all people, not just for the Jewish people of his birth, because the Magi were not Jewish.